Hello guys and welcome back to League One predictions. After the international break, we are back with a full set of fixtures and I am joined by Benjamin Bloom. How are you?
I'm good because you just told me I redeemed myself last week. It didn't go well 2 shows ago, but I think we're back in the game, Matt.
Absolutely. Do you know what's incredible? If we look at the 3 scores from last week, between us, we got all 3 of them correct. And there wasn't actually a possible way in which either of us could have got more points because whoever went first got it bang on.
Wow.
You said 2-1 to Barnsley. I said 1-1 between Charlton and Rotherham. And then you said 3-0 to Wrexham. Overall, Ben's beaten me 6-5, and it's very close overall. Before we get into the next set of predictions, guys, please be sure, as ever, to support us. We'll go for 1,000 likes now that the international break is over. Make sure to subscribe to myself and the first link in the description. Subscribe to Benjamin Bloom. It literally takes 2 seconds, so make sure you have done already, where we have Premier League content coming out this week as well. And Ben does great work on his channel as well. He's got his championship predictions with Sam Parkin coming tomorrow as well. So do make sure to get involved. But let's dive into the League One predictions, where we start with Mansfield versus Cambridge, Ben. It's difficult. You have to re-jog your memory now because it's been 2 weeks. Cambridge United have not had the best start. They've not picked up a win yet, whereas Mansfield have been involved in some crazy games. I'm fancying Mansfield here, Ben, but I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I agree, mate. You're looking for something to cling on to for either of the teams. And I think the kind of promotion residue, or whatever you called it last week, still on Mansfield a little bit, and home advantage. So I'm going to go with you, Matt. And sorry, because Cambridge are 1 point from 4, but I'm not forecasting them to have any more than 1 point after this round. We always like both teams to score on Mansfield, don't we? So let's go Mansfield 3, Cambridge 1.
Ben.
Every time.
It's genuinely a scribble.
Always the first one as well.
It is. I'm going to have to start going first. I need to be a worst host. And
it's your channel, mate. You're in charge.
I completely agree with everything you've just said. So I'm just going to tone it down a tiny bit and go with the 2-1. But yeah, both teams to score. Mansfield have been involved in games with loads of goals, and Cambridge, I don't know. Maybe with this 2-1 narrative, they're in the game a bit more. They're trying to cling on to get something. So I will go with the 2-1 to Mansfield. And then I'll go first for the next one, Ben, which is Northampton Town versus Wycombe Wanderers, who've both had okay starts. I mean, Wycombe had some really difficult games at the start, but they've got moving now. Northampton Town, they've been okay. They've picked up a fair few points. Northampton haven't been involved in games with lots of goals, but Wycombe have had lots of goals in their games. So I'm just wondering what narrative to go with here. But I do think it will be a draw, and I'm going to play my 0-0 here. Going to go for a 0-0 here, Ben. I think Wycombe, I fancy Wycombe a little bit more to score. I think they won at Sixfields in the Carabao Cup, but I don't know if that's much to go by. I'll go for the 0-0.
I was so scared of a scribble there because I've got 1-1 down, and I was kind of going because Northampton are kind of robust, aren't they? They're good at not losing when they're in games. Wycombe, you still kind of judge as it's not truly going to be Matt Bloomfield's Wycombe for probably a few years, given Gareth Ainsworth's stamp, and you still just assume that there's going to be a set play threat and a direct threat, all of those cliches. So I was going to go down the middle. I think if it was at Wycombe, Matt, I would have backed Wycombe, I think, just probably by 1 goal. But I will play the 1-1. You left it open for me. You know me. I'll take it.
There you go. Both go for a draw. Do share your thoughts, guys, on Northampton versus Wycombe. Next up, Ben, I'll pass over to you.
I know why you're smiling.
Steve Bruce. It's Blackpool versus Exeter City. Take over.
Well, Steve Bruce is one of my massive guilty pleasures. And although, unfortunately, I've been wrong about him he was good at Sheffield Wednesday, and then Newcastle, we gave him a bit of a pass. And I said to the West Brom fans, don't worry, it'll be all right. He'll see you okay. And I was wrong. It didn't go well. So you're not going to be surprised to know that I'm going to immediately climb aboard the Steve Bruce train and back Blackpool for about the next 5 weeks. New manager bounce. Blackpool 2, Exeter 0. I'm not sure long term whether Steve Bruce is the answer to any particular question in life, other than what is Ben's guilty pleasure when it comes to managers. But we've got to back him on week 1. Welcome back, Brucey. Blackpool 2, Exeter 0.
I love that, Ben. Absolutely love that.
So childish.
But like you say, it's another big name at this level. Plenty of well-known managers in League One this year. I can see it. I can see the Blackpool win.
Manager bounce. Come on, Matt, do it.
No, I'm going to spoil the party here. I think I've backed Exeter City to pick up a few points this season, and they've done me quite well.
You've done well on Exeter, haven't you? Yeah,
I think I'm going to go for them to take a draw. Maybe Blackpool go 1-0 up, a bit like your narrative, but Exeter pull one back towards the end instead of Blackpool getting a second. And I'll go for a share of the spoils, a frustrating draw for Steve Bruce. But I do think in the long run, they're going to start moving up the table. But maybe Exeter can capitalise on Blackpool not figuring themselves out just yet. 1-1. Okay, next up, Ben. Interesting. Bolton versus Huddersfield. It's a mouth-watering matchup for this level. So. Two big historic clubs, two clubs with expectations for promotion this season and nothing else, really. Huddersfield have started the better, but as we both sort of predicted before the international break, we did think they might drop points to Rotherham, and they did. They didn't actually get anything. But Bolton have only picked up 4 points so far, and they've only scored 2 goals.
Yeah, very odd. I must confess, Matt, I got so seduced by the match that we're going to talk about last. Keep watching for an absolute gargantuan one to end with. But I didn't notice this one, which is a fabulous one, isn't it? And especially as well, we think 2 big hitters, and the styles should clash really nicely because you think, Huddersfield will be nice and direct and get crosses in, and Bolton will knock it about. What are you saying?
I just think with the home advantage, I need to back Bolton to get something. But then they lost 2-0 at home to Exeter, didn't they, before the international break? So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. They both get moving. I mean, it's not really a win that Bolton really need right now, but Bolton really don't, they need to avoid another defeat, I think. And Huddersfield, it gets them moving again. Would this be 10 points from 5 now?
It would be, yeah.
So that's 2 points per game. Yeah, I'll go for the 1-1.
Interesting. As you were saying that, I'm just wondering when, if this continues, say it is a draw, people start talking about the manager at Bolton because he's done absolutely amazing. But you know what it's like if you start slowly, don't you? And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be an advocate of that, but I'm sure the conversation will start. I like a draw as well, Matt. I think they cancel each other out, but Bolton still don't quite get started. And I love bonus points. And you know where this is going because we need 5+ goals on a draw. Here we go, everyone. If this comes in, come on. Bolton 3, Huddersfield 3. I'm feeling frivolous this morning, Matt.
I like it. It's bold.
He loves it, doesn't he?
It's ambitious.
It's stupid.
To be honest, Ben, I don't think in all the years I've been doing predictions, I've ever seen anyone get a 3-3 until you did a couple of weeks ago for Burton versus Mansfield. So, we will see. Share your thoughts. We're both going for a draw, 1-1 and 3-3. Okay, next up, Bristol Rovers versus Wigan Athletic. I think we can say Wigan, another team underperforming so far this season. Bristol Rovers, they've been pretty good, actually. They did lose 2-1 to Barnsley at the weekend, but their only defeats,
they had really hard games, Matt. Haven't they?
They've lost to Barnsley and Stockport, which is not a disaster.
Yeah, right.
It's over to you first, Ben. I nearly spoilt my prediction. What are you saying?
I think you fancy Bristol Rovers, don't you? Because Wigan are struggling. We've been a bit draw heavy so far, haven't we? So I'm, even though I'm struggling with this one because you think on paper, Wigan have the better squad and the bigger expectations, but given their start, kind of pushes it all towards the middle. I am going to go with what I think you're going to go with, where you think Bristol Rovers are punching and they've had hard games, right? So, this is burying poor old Wigan, who I like, but I'm going to do it. Sorry, Wigan fans. Let's go Bristol Rovers 1, Wigan 0.
It's not a scribble, thankfully. I've gone for the 2-1 though. Yeah, I think Bristol Rovers. I think Bristol Rovers do it. Similar lines of thinking. Again, Bristol Rovers been pretty impressive, and I feel like with it being so competitive at the top of League One this season, if they can, keep themselves in that top 12 and sneak under the radar, who knows if they could challenge at the end of the season for a playoff place, but certainly had a better start than Wigan, who you thought might have had a better start than them. Okay, next up, Ben's favourites, Crawley Town.
Two of our favourites.
Versus Stockport County. Two of the clubs that came up from League Two last season, Ben. Crawley, I do want to say they have been really impressive, because I think a lot of us, I'm not sure for yourself, but a lot of us have thought they would struggle this season.
Oh, I had them bottom, Matt.
And I did. And I'm happy to put my hands up so far and say that they came up brilliant. I didn't expect it when they did, but then they lost a few players and I'm like, I'm not sure. But they've been solid. They picked up some good points. But they take on Stockport, who are looking like this train that is not going to stop anytime soon. Been really, really impressed. And it's just incredible to see Stockport and Wrexham in the top 2, Ben. I mean, how long can they keep it up?
Long, I think. I think we're all kind of thinking, oh, hello, narrative ahoy. But yeah, and I think one of the talking points as well, you mentioned players going across. I think the keeper, who was really good for Crawley last year, is now the Stockport keeper as well, isn't he? So
Corey Adai, yeah,
right, yeah.
He's massive, yeah,
yeah,
that's right, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. You mentioned that. He did go across to Stockport. I'm going to give Crawley a goal. Crawley 1, Stockport 2. I won't go for a bonus point just yet. I might save that for another game.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, how can you not back Stockport at this point? The only fly in the ointment is we think Stockport skew better at home than away, but they're still pretty damn good away, aren't they? So, and they're good defensively, so I'm going to be a miser. And no goal for Scott Lindsay and Crawley. Let's go 2-0 then. You go 2-1, Matt, did you?
2-1 Stockport.
Okay,
yeah.
Crawley 0, Stockport 2, Matt.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, similar again. Share your thoughts, guys. Can Stockport get promoted? Do answer that question down in the comments. On to the next one, Ben. Really good matchup this. Peterborough United versus Lincoln City. I suppose a lot of the attention is going to the new teams in the division this year. Wrexham, Birmingham, Stockport, Huddersfield. But these two strong teams in this division, and they're still in the shake, I'd say. I mean, Lincoln City have started really well. Peterborough United, we always expect them to be up there. How do you see this one going?
It's a hard one to call, isn't it? Because Peterborough, I mean, you'd say they've started slowly, haven't they? But if we're talking about tough fixtures, they've already played Huddersfield and Wrexham, and that's the 2 defeats, isn't it? And I wonder, Matt, whether we're going to be... how many can we have in our top group here? Because we're talking about Stockport and Wrexham and Huddersfield and Bolton and Barnsley and Rotherham. And they can't all be in the top group because by definition, it's then not the top group, is it? But I do have Peterborough somewhere closer to that, maybe ahead of Lincoln. I know Lincoln have got 3 wins for 4. I fancy Peterborough to win, Matt. And being it's Peterborough, we'll do both teams to score as well. Shall I go 3-1 or 2-1? Let's go Peterborough 3, Lincoln 1. Although aren't Lincoln really good defensively, though?
They were last season, but they've conceded a few at the start of this season. So
okay, I'm sticking.
That's a good point. Yeah,
I'm sticking. Okay.
And so far this season, I think I'm right in saying Peterborough's points have all come away from home, haven't they?
Really? Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
Because was it the Huddersfield and the Wrexham games were both at home? Always difficult, but I think I am going to go for Peterborough as well. And I think I also agree with goals. So I'll go for my bonus point here and say Peterborough 3, Lincoln 2. Very similar, actually. But yeah, I look at this as like 2 really powerful teams on the verge of the Championship that have been, in League One for a few years now. Peterborough, we associate for maybe a longer time now of being a strong team at this level, but Lincoln City have really established themselves. But we'll both just go for posh there. Okay, on to the next one. It's Reading versus Leyton Orient. We didn't mention Leyton Orient last week because they didn't play, but they are propping up the table, Ben, with 4 defeats in 4. And we've said the same things for them. They had 3 difficult games, so we gave them a bit of a pass, and then they lost 3-0 to Shrewsbury. So it's becoming, I mean, it's still early, but they've got to start scoring points soon, haven't they?
Well, it feels like they've just lost all that lovely momentum that they went into. Because sort of Richie Wellens went in and they basically just won. Then they won League Two, and then they managed to ride it out last season. But yeah, it's all come a bit of a cropper now. Where are we with the Reading takeover now? Are we completely done? Is it over with Rob Coig? I don't know whether it still needs more to do, but obviously that's kind of the gigantic story of Reading trying to finally get that over the line and done. But comment if you're a Reading fan, you'll know way more about it than us. But I've got to have them as favourites, Matt. But you're up first, fella.
Yeah, I do. I agree. I like Richie Wellens and I like Leyton Orient. I think they've got a lot of quality there, and I don't see them being anywhere near finishing bottom. So, but this is a really difficult game. I think Reading have been a little bit inconsistent so far, but we've seen some good signs. I mean, that win against Charlton was really impressive, but then before that, they got smashed by Wrexham. But Wrexham have been great. I will go Reading 2, Leyton Orient 1. I think Orient are going to come. They're going to make it difficult, but I think Reading just get it over the line.
Yeah, I mean, I like Orient. I think you might be being a bit too kind to them, mate. I'm fairly confident Reading are going to win this. Clip that one out, everybody, for the public apology next week. But what did you say? 2-0, Matt?
2-1.
2-1. Okay, I'll have the 2-0 then. Reading 2, Orient 0.
Yeah, share your thoughts, guys, on Reading versus Leyton Orient. We're both going for the home win there. Next up, we'll go to the New York Stadium as Rotherham United take on Burton Albion. Rotherham have got moving now. It was a slow start, but they got the win against Huddersfield and then a draw against Charlton, which is 4 very good points. I don't know if you saw the goals from that game, but Liam Kelly, former Coventry lad, scored a cracking goal. And then, was it Chukwuemeka for Charlton? I think he scored a really good leveller. So Rotherham are moving. You feel like with Steve Evans and the players they've got, they're going to power their way up the table now. Burton, I don't think Burton have won yet. Have they got 3 draws from 4?
Yeah.
So they're in the games, aren't they? I'll go for the narrow. Oh no, it's you first, Ben.
Well, look, I think that you point out the last 2 Rotherham results correctly, which just makes me even more stubborn on my. I've been stubborn with Rotherham. I think they're going to be good. I keep backing them to win and being wrong, but I think, home against a team that hasn't won a game yet. Surely let's go comfortable. Happy Steve Evans. Rotherham 3, Burton 0.
Wow. Yeah. Comprehensive.
Love that word.
I'll go for the narrow Rotherham win. Just see it being a bit gritty, like Burton come and give it a go. Like, I don't think Burton have been bad. As I say, they haven't won, but to draw 3 out of 4, they're really in these games. But this one might just be a bit of a stretch away from home at Rotherham, who are getting moving. I'll go for the Rotherham 2-1 win. I think they'll just edge this one over Burton. And yeah, I can see Steve Evans getting a bit excited with a win here. Let's go to Shrewsbury versus Charlton Athletic, Ben. Shrewsbury, it was a 3-0 win before the international break, and then it was a 3-0 defeat at Wrexham during the international break. They're now at home to Charlton. Charlton have been pretty good so far this season, but only 1 point in the last 2 games, but they have been difficult away at Reading, at home to Rotherham. I think Charlton have got to look at this as, let's get the next 3 points and get moving again. Do you agree?
I suspect away win incoming, Matt, so I'll say no more on Shrewsbury Charlton and you can go on.
Yeah, I'm pretty hot on Charlton here. I haven't gone for a comprehensive win, but I'm not going to here either. I think I'm going to revert to the old Charlton 1-0. I'm torn between a 1 or a 2-0, but I'll go for the 1-0. Maybe Shrewsbury try and grind a draw over the line, but Charlton just have the star power to snatch it. So I'll go back to a 1-0 Charlton win, which gets them moving again.
See, what the guys don't understand in the comments here is the psychological torment of doing this. So because you have to react to what the other guy's doing, when someone doesn't take the Nathan Jones 1-0, you'll sit there going, well, I've got to take it. I've got to take it. But surely it can't happen every week. But now he's taken it. I feel freedom. I can predict what I like without fear of recrimination for not doing the obvious. So should we go narrow or should we go... I like your word comprehensive that you used. Let's go comprehensive. Shrewsbury 0, Charlton 2.
That was the other score I was thinking about. Yeah. There you go. I'll be kicking myself if it's 2-0 because I went first. But there you go. Both going for an away win, and Charlton doing very well this season. That'll be up to 13 points for them. On to the next one, Ben. We have Stevenage versus Barnsley. It feels like Barnsley slow start, and then they've started to get moving again because they lost to Mansfield. Their second home game, they drew against Northampton. Been pretty impressive on the road, and then they got their first home win last week against Bristol Rovers. Stevenage, they've been okay, but I fancy Barnsley here, Ben. What are you saying?
I agree. I think it's a hands up from me on Barnsley. They've been better than I thought. Maybe it's a bit skewed because they've played the extra game and they're right up there in double figures and in third spot. But I do think they're going to get the win here. Nice and direct, and the extra experience they've got now seems to be standing them in good stead. So apologies, Daryl Clark. I'm going to give you the win here. And let's go for a 2-1. Stevenage 1, Barnsley 2.
Well, interestingly, Ben, that is a scribble for me. But at the same time you were saying that, I was already changing my prediction because looking back at my predictions so far in this video, I haven't really gone for many surprises, I guess. I haven't backed the underdog a lot. I don't think I'm going to back the underdog.
Oh, you tease.
I'll go for a draw. And okay. I'll go for an exciting draw. I'll go for a Desmond. You know I like a Desmond.
I don't think we've had one today, have we?
Barnsley 2. Well, I don't think I've done one. I don't think you have. You've done a 3-3.
Maybe I'm saving my Desmond for the massive smash hit super game that you're about to talk about, Matt.
Yeah, well, we'll move on from Stevenage, Barnsley to Birmingham City, Wrexham. How about this? Look, no disrespect to the rest of the clubs in the division, but I suppose for myself, when we looked at this division before the season started, these were the two teams I had a bit of an interest in just because of the journeys of them, the money behind them, everything going on off the pitch as well. Take over, Ben. What do you have to say for this game? Because you've got Birmingham, who haven't lost. They've been great, as you thought they'd be. Wrexham, this incredible story. They've not lost yet. They're top.
Well, I think neutrals like you and me are going to be going, wow, amazing game. I think the rest of the fans of the other 22 teams are going to be going, oh, Birmingham, Wrexham, and bloody money bags, Derby or whatever. But I think it's great. And I think it's great for League One. It's on TV. Hopefully we get a good TV audience for it on the Monday night. I hope the game delivers. Again, like we said about Huddersfield and Bolton, it'll be a nice clash of styles, won't it? Let's make one prediction here. What do you reckon? Birmingham 70% possession in this game? Something like that. But man, Wrexham are the top scorers in the division. You do not need to be a possession team. And as much as I like the evolution of football into, what Pep's brought everybody, I do still love a good direct team that stays in a block and springs out quickly and, gets the ball in the box and scores goals. So I will. Am I up first, by the way?
No.
I think I've already given away what I'm going to do, but we'll see if you nick my scoreline. What do you reckon?
I think I know what you're going to do, but I don't think I'm going for the same. But I think I'm going to go similar.
Okay.
Couple things to point out. This does feel like a League One Avengers, two Avengers fighting each other, doesn't it? Because sort of superpower for this level. Birmingham City, I still fancy them to be top two come the end of the season. They drew their opening game, but then they've been growing into the season. It was a dramatic late winner against Wigan, wasn't it, in the 90th minute before the international break. Wrexham, so good. What I'd say Wrexham have over Birmingham is the continuity. They've been a force, should I say, for a longer period of time. And Parkinson's.
Someone put it in the comments last time, Matt. We asked about the points totals, and it's ridiculous. It's like 190. So thank you to everyone that was in the comments last time.
Great comment. We've had loads of Wrexham fans getting involved, which is great. But I feel like we've got so many Birmingham City fans that watch our channels as well. Really interesting. So like I say, I think Wrexham with Parkinson and Elliot Lee and Paul Mullin, they've got this identity. They know what they're going to do when they come here. And we've seen two sides to their game. We've seen them going out and scoring loads against Reading and Peterborough. But we also saw that 0-0 draw at Bolton, which was like when they thought to themselves, is a draw okay? Do we just walk away with a 0-0, try and pinch it 1-0? I wonder if it'll be similar for this one, because they will know Birmingham's strengths. Birmingham, like I say, they've been growing into it. Has this game potentially come a little bit early for them? If this was November, would we think more about Birmingham? I think I still make Birmingham the slight favourites, but I'm going to go 1-1.
No, I like it. I like all your logic. And, I mean, this might be music to the Birmingham fans' ears, but my experience with Ipswich in League One, where you're trying to play technical football, is wait for the spring. Not just like you mentioned, the continuity, but we've mentioned this before, Matt. It is hard banging through the pitches in, this ain't Kansas, Dorothy. This is not the Premier League and beautiful, lawns. It's quite tricky getting through the winter, and sometimes, the styles of maybe a sort of a Wrexham or a Huddersfield where they can cross the ball in and score plenty of goals that way. I think Barnsley are going to be like that as well. So we all know what I'm going to say because I gave it away before the thing. I want a TV spectacular, Matt. I want 4 goals, honours even. I think maybe another late equaliser for Birmingham as well. They love it at the moment, don't they, the late goals. Birmingham 2, Wrexham 2. And I hope it's a great advert for League One football with, a great TV audience. I'm sure the stadium will be absolutely rammed, won't it, there all season at Birmingham. So, yeah, Desmond.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like I say, I've gone for the draw as well. So do share your thoughts, guys. I'm really interested to get the neutrals' take on this. Neutrals, definitely get your votes down below for that one, because that is one hell of a mouth-watering matchup. There we go then, Ben. The 6th week of League One predictions, if you include last week with only the 3 games.
Oh, we're definitely including last week, Matt, because I won.
Well, yes, of course. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great about it. And really, really, obviously, Matt and I are mainly across the Championship. So if you're thinking about writing a comment and thinking, oh, no, they won't read it anyway, we will. And it's a massive help, especially if you're a season ticket holder at one of these teams. Give us some help. Tell us what's going down and, be nice about it. But if you think we're barking up the wrong tree, tell us why, because we will listen, Matt, won't we?
Absolutely, yes. And I'm guilty of that myself. I watch plenty of YouTube videos without liking or commenting, and definitely think it's worth getting involved, guys. I know I need to tap myself on the wrist for that. But get involved, like I say, drop a like, do comment, and just go into detail if you want to. We do go through your comments. We're really interested to see what you have to say, especially if you are a League One fan. And like I say, make sure to subscribe over here and hit that first link in the description to subscribe to Benjamin Bloom, where we've got our Premier League videos. He's also got his Championship videos with Sam Parkin. And like I say, great content all round. So thank you for joining me, Ben. And we will see you next week for some more League One predictions, guys. Take care. Peace out.